Welcome back, everybody. It's time for the grand finals of the 1v1 Solo Mid Championship here in Seattle at TI4. That 8 of the best solo mid players, well, not all solo mid players, but all expertly skilled mechanically
Prepare
gifted
for
players battle it out here. We've got two left standing. Ferrari 430 of Team IG on the Radiant side. On the Dire side, we have Alliances, the TI3 champions, solo mid player S4. It's going to be a puck versus puck in game 1, Queen of Pain versus Queen of Pain in game 2, and should it call for it, game 3 will be SF versus SF. I'm Godstream, is Merlini. What's the
Hello.
good word with this match?
How's it going? S4 is donning his self-made pucks in.
Yeah.
So that comes, I think, in the treasure of Eternal Alliance, since they are last year's winners, and this is the game that he won Game 5 with. So S4 is pretty well renowned for his puck, but Ferrari is no slouch to be sure. I think he is one of the most well-known 1v1ers in the world.
Yeah, I mean, going back, I would say S4, this TI3 champion. Well, Ferrari,
30
the TI2
seconds
champion.
to battle.
Various points, like, both have been considered kind of at the peak of their craft, like some of the best mid players in the world. As for where we stand right now, I mean, over the past 6 months or so, as far as IG concerned, they've been doing fantastically well, winning WPC, winning ESL 1. So these guys have been kind of on top of the Dota 2 scene in a lot of ways. And Ferrari, through some of that, the team wasn't actually playing that well, but Ferrari was so consistent, always dominating. S4, though, this guy is just like a beacon of consistency,
The battle
which is kind
begins.
of impressive that two very consistent players are making it to the grand finals. Normally you look towards kind of the flashy standout players to make it to the grand finals, but here we are. Looking at the item builds, that's where we kind of get started here. 5 branches and tangos up against 3 branches and null talismans from S4.
So it's usually an early orb if it can secure your last hit or secure your bottle very quickly, or if you can guarantee a level 2 very quickly, and with the even block. Actually, I say...
Gets a better block.
Yeah, slightly better. I don't think it matters as much at this one, because even when you're under your tower, you're still not completely invulnerable to harass because of phase shift. So I think the block in this matchup matters less than other ones.
Both players go for
Don't
the orb
mind
level
me.
1 to secure themselves some last hits.
Denied.
We'll see both players also pick up a deny early on, so pretty even
Orb is
start.
so expensive at level 1 though. 150 mana is very significant.
For Ferrari especially, the orb use is good because he's rushing a bottle, whereas S4, and he may be rushing a bottle anyways, but he's bringing Tangos out as it is, so his bottle's coming much later, but Ferrari can expend this mana to get this bottle up as soon as possible.
Yeah, and you definitely want to use at least one early to start your mana regen ticking. And Ferrari has the creep equilibrium on his slide just ever so slightly at this point, and you'll see a lot of the mid players do this. They run to the left and try not to get it tanked into the tower. Unfortunately, he phase shifted, so it will still be at the top of his hill.
He gets both last hits anyways,
Yeah.
Ferrari. He's like, I don't care about no tower. He's 6-2 to 3 CS and 2 denies of S4. Great start for Ferrari, and he's already got his bottle en route from the Curry.
It's very impressive how Ferrari managed to stay ahead in last hits even though he has less base damage.
Yeah. And it's not even like he had a better, like the block wasn't it, it was just timing of last hits. Like Ferrari obviously known for being a mechanically skilled player, but by no means is he outclassing S4 as far as last hits go on a normal game-to-game basis.
Well, he also uses orbs more judiciously than S4 does. Ferrari uses it to secure last hits that he wouldn't get normally, that S4 would deny in particular, or he uses it to mount increasing pressure on S4. So he will get the rune before, or he will get his bottom before the 2-minute mark. He knows it's not top. S4 just uses orb that clears Ferrari's way for bottom, but at the same time S4 will catch up in terms of experience and last hits because of this.
Yeah. He actually got like 3 last hits in a row under his tower, so not just Ferrari doing a great job lasting on tower, S4 as well, so he's actually ahead now as far as the denies go on top of the CS, and we'll start pulling ahead here, but the illusion rune will quickly change that. You probably almost want to orb it down ASAP, because the illusion rune pretty much gives you extra damage up when you go for these last hits here in the mid lane.
Ferrari's a little bit behind in terms of levels, though. S4 already with 1 level waning Rift, and Ferrari just picking his up a little under 3 minutes in.
We'll see how the illusion last scene goes now. There is an orb available for S4, and he does have bottle up, which is coming out on the career, so he can use some of this mana. S4 is still getting denied on last hits, even with the illusion orb there, and that's something which Ferrari should try and not allow happen, but it has so far, and as things stand, Ferrari getting pushed back a little bit here.
Denied.
Yeah, and S4 threatens an orb right before the courier comes, so he's not at risk of it dying.
Here's your Ferrari Observer Ward, so we'll get some rune vision here at the top lane. Probably either hold on to the other one or plop it down to give it higher ground vision. No, he's going to plop it down on the courier, so he's going to save it.
I'm surprised he didn't. Oh, never mind. He did bottle.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Almost like what we saw in the past was he'd put it on on the hill, like just to get vision onto the high ground. But I guess he's looking at this match and saying, "Hey, look, this game's going to go for a long time. I'll save that 75 gold and use it for the next time I need to see rune."
Well, he doesn't need it yet because it's not nighttime. Generally, you'll see him place it on the high ground come nighttime. A little bit of orb harass coming out from both, but without high levels of waning rift or dream coil up on either side, I don't think we'll see a early death. And Ferrari, it's just really difficult to get the exact phase shift timing down to actually.
It is possible. We've seen it a few times, but you could practice this matchup like 100 times and you'd still not get it perfect.
If he casts it right over you, it's just insanely difficult. Both heroes going down to the bottom. Ferrari's missing out on a lot of experience, and S4 is already far ahead.
S4 can just orb to beat him to the root. He's not going to go for it though.
Wow.
He was too low in HP, I guess.
He could have just orbed ahead and gone for it. I think he was scared of the waning rift from Ferrari, and
he also doesn't know what rune it is. Like if he gets a, I don't know, like a.
He can't die. He's too far ahead of him. He can just, he was already like maybe like 900 range ahead of him, and if S4 just orbs over there and phase shift at the perfect time, then he can do it. So S4 choosing to play a little bit conservatively, but this will bring Ferrari back to almost even in terms of CS by the time the efficacy of this regen rune runs out.
This is going to make S4 play a little bit safer here. S4 still getting some denies off, and Ferrari not as lasting as we've seen in the past. We'll see him do the best to put S4 on the back foot here, but a big creep wave coming S4's way, and he's on top by 5 CS regardless, so S4 can just bottle crow. That's the other thing. We're looking at first to 1 kill or 1 tower. You can bottle crow. The only thing that you're not allowed to do here is go and jungle. So
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
But as things stand right now, it's
oh, Ferrari trying to get a free orb on S4. Will he get it? No.
Here's the regen rune, so that's free harass, although it does give S4 an easy deny that gets Ferrari 0 experience. So.
Yeah, Ferrari's missing out on a lot of experience. S4 is 6.5, whereas Ferrari's only 5.5. This is pretty difficult to come back from.
I mean, you mentioned earlier, like, puck versus puck is probably less of a matchup where you're trying to rush to get level 6 compared to like quad versus quad, but when it's this big a level advantage, it's a big difference.
That couple level silence is going to matter soon enough, and Ferrari has dumped a couple of his hundreds of gold into the Observer rewards too, so he won't have the stats to cope with a man fight.
Magic one coming out now for Ferrari. S4 already has his though. It is nighttime though, which led to S4 not actually getting one charges. You use the orb from the high ground, you're not going to get charges, and Ferrari knows where the rune is, so S4 is going to go top check it.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Luxury of the Observer vision that Ferrari doesn't. He'll secure himself an invis rune, which honestly is not that good a rune right now. You're not going to get kills. You want probably a DD rune.
Actually probably the worst rune that he can get. Regen, it wasn't possible. I would say that's not very effective either, but yeah, he can't get a kill. S4 is topped off, almost topped off in terms of HP, and has a magic to boot.
DD rune, illusion rune, both would have been better just for the lasting potential, but end of the day, he refills his bottle and denies it from S4.
Maybe he can get like a courier snipe with it. That would be pretty big for him, but that's pretty difficult to pull off.
He does also wait up for the Raging Heresy. Orbs way out there. Ooh, attempted waning rift there.
I think he would have been okay. He could have just invised out.
Invis.
Well, Ferrari is level 6. S4 is not yet topped off. Oh, I thought he might have gone for a kill attempt there, but not enough levels to deal with S4.
Himself, and S4 just immediately continues to last. The last hit is just being dominated by S4 as it S4's dodging orbs, getting last hits, 11 CS ahead and 14 denies ahead. S4 is crushing right now.
But all it takes is one mistake. S4 isn't the most aggressive of players though. I don't even think he's been on Ferrari's side of the cliff yet this game, and it's really up to Ferrari to make big plays. S4 can just take it slow and steady and just win by a war of attrition.
It's one of those things. It's like a 10 CS advantage now, but that probably won't necessarily become a bigger advantage, assuming Ferrari just plays kind of safe and stable. There isn't. It's not like an SF versus SF where once you're ahead, you stay ahead because you've got more souls, you've got more items to help you out. Puck just can last him using his nukes and using bottle crowing to keep sustain yourself. So we won't see S4 start pulling even further ahead necessarily.
Yes, and both of them are going to get the majority of the CS for each wave, and as the game progresses, the goal difference in terms of numbers is going to be the same, but percentage-wise, it's going to start to even out the longer the game goes, and Ferrari picks up a DD rune too, so this will make S4 play on the back for a couple minutes, and both of them, I believe, going for power treads next.
S4, he's got level 8, so 3 points in Waning Rift. As for Ferrari, he's gone for the max illusionary orb just because he probably realizes he's behind and wants to just catch up on the farm right now. Although with that said, with Ice, when he was behind, he maxed the Waning Rift to try and go for a kill, so different ways of playing when you're behind, I guess.
Yep. And Ferrari going to get a lot of denies off the back of that illusory orb by S4.
He's not actually going for he wants
Why
tower
not?
damage?
I'm not sure.
Okay, he'll just deny it at the tower, yes. Missing a few there. Some uncharacteristic play from Ferrari, perhaps, as you mentioned treads, both players sitting on a Robo the Magi, and Gloves of Hate should probably be the next little pickup for them. There's an actual upgraded career for S4. As for Ferrari, I mean, he's already strapped for gold, being behind, and on top of that, buying Observer Wards, so he's not even going to upgrade his career just yet. He buys his Gloves of Haste, so we'll have treads of it.
5 Magic Sticks on both heroes. I'm surprised Ferrari didn't play on the opposite side of the cliff and try and zone S4 out a little bit with a double damage, but instead choosing to push it in the tower and give S4 a couple of easy last hits at tower. The CS difference only 11 at this point.
It's pretty much, it stayed there for quite some time now, so while 2 minutes ago that was quite a big lead, currently it's not giving S4 anywhere near as big an advantage as it did previously. Another rune in 30 seconds time. Ferrari's Observer will be expiring eventually, actually getting aggressive here on the high ground. Knowing that tower range so perfectly, doesn't get too close that he draws aggro, because if he draws tower aggro, there's a call here. S4 goes into the kill. Waning Rift has been used, it's a level 2 here. Neither hero breaks the call. Ferrari getting crushed. First blood goes to the puck of S4, just barely with that last feature.
It shall be duly
Had the
noted.
treads, but it wasn't enough for Ferrari, and S4 comes out on top.
Yeah, well played by him, and he was on the high ground, so he got like 1 extra last hit. He also had 1 more strength than him. He had a null talisman as opposed to Ferrari's 2 branches, so slight differences. Yeah, he just accrued very small advantages throughout the game, and S4 played that very well.
Congratulations to S4, he takes game 1 of the best of 3. Game 2, we go into a Queen of Pain versus Queen of Pain mirror matchup. Should Ferrari win that one, we get an SF versus SF. I think Queen of Pain a bit more Ferrari-suited hero. I mean, you look at S4 signature heroes and Puck comes up. But Ferrari, Queen of Pain, a bit more aggressive and something that maybe more suits his style.
I agree. I think Ferrari has a slight upper edge in the Queen of Pain matchup. And probably actually in the SF matchup, I would say.
I feel SF is one of those really dicey matchups where one game it goes your way, the next game it goes the other player's way. Like, so much just depends on how well you last hit that first wave or two. But guys, we'll take a quick break. When we come back, Game 2, S4 versus Ferrari 430 in the TI4 Solo Mid Championships, cast by myself, Gods, as well as my co-caster Merlini will be coming. Welcome back, everybody. It's time now for Game number 2 of your TI4 Solo Mid Championships between S4 of Team Alliance and Ferrari 430 of Team Invictus Gaming. S4 taking Game 1, Ben. We've got Game 2, Queen of Pain versus Queen of Pain. Ferrari's got to bring it back here.
But not with the boots first build. It's interesting to see how he alters his build game to game. S4, I think when in the pre-creep brawl between him and Arteezy, it was both boots.
No, him and Ice.
Oh, him and Ice.
Yeah, that was the... I don't know if they had like a gentleman's agreement where Ice like told him in advance, like, dude, I'm going boots first. You better do it too. Because they both games, they like Puck versus Puck and Quap versus Quap. Both games they had boots first.
30 seconds to battle.
I don't understand it, but
Ferrari not taking any chances and just huddling by his T2 tower. So a couple of things that we've seen from this matchup. Firstly, you can't get off to a bad start early. You will get punished for this much more so than other ones, unless you have a salve, but even salve is pretty difficult to get away with because of the damage over time from Shadow Strike. Secondly, the build's different. We've seen 1-1-1, 2-1-0,
The battle begins.
but everyone has gotten Shadow Strike. It is fairly mana intensive, and Blink dodging a Shadow Strike is a huge momentum swing in your favor. So those are the things to look out for in this matchup.
Alright, well, Ferrari once again going for his Bottle Rush 5-branch build, which has kind of become his patent 1v1 build. As for S4, making sure he gets some actual Tengos to start off with, knowing that that Shadow Strike harass is very pesky, and if you get a bad block, you're guaranteed to take early harass, and that's where having Null Talisman and Branches, you'll lose the lane, but very even block to start things off in, neither player getting an advantage off of it.
Yep, and Ferrari misses the first last hit, and Ferrari will have his bottle again, so Ferrari probably doesn't have the upper edge from like 0 to 2, and then Ferrari will see a big surge in power from like 2 to like 3, I'd say, and then it's S4's time to shine after that, if he accrues a lot of last hits with Null Talisman. Yeah. So that's what I expect the power struggle to look like in the mid lane, but anything could change due to upsets in CS.
Too bad.
So far, we have not seen the Null Talisman like really make a huge difference as far as last hits go. I mean, not just looking at this game. Obviously, this game we've only seen so few last hits, but as a whole, I feel like the Null Talisman first has not led to winning the CS battle again. I mean, Ferrari's just cruised through. He's in the grand finals here and has not gone for the Null Talisman first in any of his games.
Yeah, I would say the only matchup the base damage really matters is SF versus SF. Everything else seems more timing based than actual damage based.
Yep. Well, we'll see how things start off here. Ferrari's bottle coming up as soon as he can get a couple more last hits. He does really rely on getting those early last hits to get that bottle up, and so far just the one last hit to his name, S4 with 3, so very small difference, but this early on, that small difference makes a world of pain for Ferrari, who's still struggling to get this bottle up. Although he does get 2 last hits under his tower, so that's going to be a nice little boost.
And S4 is going for a 1-1-1, Ferrari also going for a 1-1-1, so not too much damage coming up from Shadow Strike. Shadow Strike is actually very damage efficient on level 3 and beyond. Oh, Ferrari pressing up.
He gets the Scream as well, could get one more. Ooh.
Wow, one more last hit.
He was almost in range for it.
Yeah, if he salves up though and Ferrari tanks like 3 tower hits, he could potentially die. So that was a very risky position for both players.
And there was the counter Shadow Strike, so Ferrari also was also slowed. So
and S4 has a salve whereas Ferrari doesn't. So that's a pretty.
I like the choice from Ferrari to back off because end of the day the trade was very much in his advantage. He got a lot of last hits off of it. He's got his bottle coming out. He'll regen up, and once he heals up, he'll be in a good position here. S4's only got 250 gold. He's still got a long way to go before his bottle.
Yep, and it will be a haste rune top. Ferrari will scout it out, and
that's a pretty big rune.
Haste is a very big rune in this matchup. It renders Blink near ineffective, as well as the opposing slow from Shadow Strike.
Alright, well, we'll see if he gets aggressive off of this. S4 will scout it out immediately, so
creep score has evened out.
Yeah,
both sitting at 8.
The extra denies for Ferrari means he has got a slight... Actually, doesn't have the level advantage right now because there's a lot of creeps waiting for him, and we'll see how he can do here. As he's looking for that Shadow Strike, we'll push S4 back, making him miss a last hit or 2. Maybe level 5 with this haste rune, Ferrari can look to get a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and looks like bottle is coming up for S4. Let's see.
No, it's not. He's really poor.
Wow.
I'm about to say, like, what, he's farmed a bottle? He's got Tangos in it.
I thought he had a bottle. I mean, Ferrari has his bottle. I guess the Null Talisman and the haste rune just threatening S4 way too much. This is going to set him so far back if you have to spend regen on other things than bottle when you really do want that bottle. So 4-minute rune goes to Ferrari, so he's going to be in control for it. Significant amount of
If he gets like a DD rune, even like an illusion rune will give him a big last hitting advantage, so I think S4 almost has to guess the rune. I feel like he needs to go for the rune, even though he doesn't have a bottle.
Well, he can just control it. Oh, actually, no, he can't. Yeah, he has to pretty much go in the fog, I think, or Ferrari will just chase him down with a haste
That's
rune.
true. Yeah. S4 gets his clarity cancelled, does get most of it out. Invis going to spawn top, and that's the first lane we normally check. Going for the rune. Ferrari's still got his haste rune. He can almost get aggressive and go for this kill under the tower here. 3 points in Scream are available for S4. He's going to go for the rune first. It's an invis. And he's still hasted. He can go back mid with haste and invis, possibly catch S4 by surprise.
But can he get a kill? Queen of Pain sitting at 500 HP with 3 tangos and not popping the invis for it. Well, Element of Surprise is gone.
If he got like a DD rune there, I think he definitely goes for it, but not the case. And he's just using this haste rune to get a couple free right clicks off. And as much as this matchup so far has been looking really good for Ferrari, end of the day, he's not actually that far ahead on CS. Although a lot of S4's money is going to like Tango, salves, clarities, which is not really income, which is going to remain like Ferrari's bottle.
Yeah, and Ferrari has actually already used invis.
And he picks up some extra stats, gets his mantle, gets his
He can blink, scream, and Sonic Wave and kill S4 right now if he actually sees him. So S4 has to stay out of vision. He can't go up to CS or he's going to die. So he has to wait for a bottle. Yeah, okay, this is nice for S4.
Ferrari has a Sonic Wave. If he hits that, it's a possible kill.
Denied.
It's so close. He's just right on the edge. I think he'd probably survive with probably 10, 15 HP at that point.
As it stands, Ferrari about 20 mana short of using his Blink, Scream, Sonic Wave combo, even with the Magic Wand, but he'll get close there. His Bottle Crow is coming back, and I think he's got... no tells me he's going to go for the Observer. I like it. It's nighttime.
Too bad.
It's really hard to get vision. Even just poking your head up to check the top rune is a lot harder during the nighttime, so this will give Ferrari pretty much guaranteed runes unless S4 is just blindly guessing as to where it's going to spawn.
Even for Ferrari getting the haste and the invisibility rune, he's only 2 CS ahead.
Yeah. The net worth, though, whoa, it's actually, what? It's in favor of S4? guess Ferrari started with a lot of Tangos.
Oh, nice blink dodge again.
The Observer Wards also do not add to his network here. Ferrari going to battle it out here in the mid lane, and we're going to see S4 push back once more. Ferrari gets the last hit. Actually blinks to the high ground there. I guess just a bit worried about some aggression. And 6-minute rune's going to spawn bottom. He has not got vision of the rune. Sees it's not top with the Observer Ward, and will make his way bottom. S4 not there. And not going to go for it either. It's completely dark. He doesn't know where Ferrari is. He also doesn't even know how much HP Ferrari has. For all he knows, Ferrari could have just bottle crowed, have full HP, full mana. So S4 is going to opt to play safe.
Yeah, still sitting. 700 HP is a very safe area for them both. Heroes level 7, so Blink, Scream, Sonic Wave, and a couple right clicks doing upwards of 600 damage. So they're still in that safe territory.
Is this a matchup where you're going to be seeing people level up Shadow Strike, Blink, get stats? Like, what's your kind of mindset here in a 1v1?
I think Blink, the damage is going to be very bursty, I feel like, and Scream of Pain is very, very efficient in clearing the creep wave and checking roots and getting damage on the hero at the same time, whereas Shadow Strike is just super risky. You can disjoint Shadow Strike, you can't disjoint Scream of Pain. So it's just much safer to go for Blink. It's easier for you to check runes.
Stats is no-go?
You could go stats too, but the Blink leveling, you just kind of have to have it. It might cost you a rune in the game because you don't have max Blink.
Yeah. And like 10 to 15 minutes in, a DD rune could be all the difference here. S4 going to get jumped here. The Sonic Wave is there. He wands up though, saves his life, or does it? The Shadow Strike damage is going to tick. It's GG. It's all over. This magic one charge can't be used. Throws the Sonic Wave for good measure. GG is called. 1-1. Grand Finals going to end. Shadow Fiend versus Shadow Fiend. Game 3 decider, Ben.
Oh yeah.
That's where it's at. We've had a lot of SF versus SF. A lot of these matchups going to distance.
I didn't think Ferrari was going to get the kill there. S4 just caught slightly off guard. Didn't blink fast enough to evade the incoming damage from the Sonic Wave and the Shadow Strike.
Yeah, well, that does it. It was a closest 1v1 matchup. Ferrari 430 was just the aggressor the entire time, though. So even though S4 kind of stayed up on CS, it wasn't really enough. And we'll see who takes in the Shadow Fiend versus Shadow Fiend, guys. So Game 3, the decider here in your TI4 Solo Mid Championship. I'm Gods, joined by Molini. Stick around. The Game 3 decider coming up after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's time now for our decider. It's Game 3 of the Solo Mid Championships here at TI4. We've got S4 versus Ferrari, your TI2 champion Solo Mid player, up against your TI3 champion Solo Mid player. We've got S4 on the Dire side, representing Alliance. We've got Ferrari on the Radiant, representing IG. I'm Gods, and joining me is Merlini. Do you think Ferrari still has it, or is this going to be too tough to call?
I think Ferrari has it.
Right.
I would give him like maybe a little over 60-40 edge in this. Ferrari is... He's just bullies a lot more, I think, than S4. S4, you'll rarely see him go like past the midline of the creep wave, and you can tell the level of aggressiveness from players. I think like Dendi, Ferrari, Arteezy is pretty aggressive too, but S4, he's like the slow and consistent player and wins by attrition, and capitalizes on opponents' mistakes and tries to minimize his own. He didn't really make any mistakes last game. He just didn't capitalize on very, very small opportunities and didn't create opportunities for himself, which is better, I think, for a competitive game, but in a 1v1, you have to get the edge somehow.
And you know, it's a very different mindset, because like in this, you can get as aggressive as you want, you can sit on your opponent's hill, there's no threat of ganks coming in from supports, you can be as out of position as you want, as long as that opposing mid hero is not going to kill you. So it comes down to the SF versus SF. Positioning not quite as important in this one unless you get a big advantage and you're trying to zone your opponent out. This is all about getting those early souls, getting those early last hits, and trying to mess up your opponent as much as possible. Interestingly, Ferrari has gone for the Tango's Wraith Band. Usually we've been seeing Wraith Bands and branches with this, and this does give S4 the 2 extra damage to start things off, which doesn't sound like much, but when every soul counts, this could make a difference.
And S4 has better creep positioning too. He's standing on top of his hill. And Ferrari finally has vision due to this one lone tree, but at the same time, he can't really do that much about it. And now he's trying to harass S4 and make him consider getting some regen early, which will hurt his bottle timing, but at the same time, we actually haven't seen that many bottles, not as much as I expected in this
S4's crushing right now. Finally, Ferrari gets a last hit, but it's already 5 souls to 1 soul, and S4 has the 2 branches on top of this. That's a good like 10 damage advantage going S4's way.
I don't think it's that big of a deal because SF versus SF, eventually you won't actually be right-clicking creeps down and you'll be raising, but that time is pretty far into the future and you can't be thinking about like 6 or 7 minutes ahead when it's only 1 minute in. So S4 should probably press his advantage. He has 7 souls to 2, so we have 53 base damage on Ferrari to 67, now 69 on S4.
This is a really bad start. Not to mention these denies start adding up. S4's going to hit level 3 first. Oh no, he doesn't hit level 3 first. Actually, S4 waiting on a couple creeps to come to his tower. So Ferrari needs these last hits. He's not even getting these ones. S4 just sneaking every deny possible. Getting these last hits under tower. Getting absolutely everything. 13, actually 12 souls now up for grabs. He can't actually go beyond this until he hits level 4, but Ferrari is just getting crushed in the early game at least.
Yeah, the positioning of the creep wave is just continually in S4's favor, and Ferrari...
I like this play.
Yeah.
He's got Tengo's salve. You've got to get aggressive like this. A double race and he gets the kill, and hey, that's GG right there. So he's going to Tengo up and try and bully S4, even though he's behind.
It's very smart for him.
One right click and a raise. Oh, he was going for it there. He takes a lot of damage. If he got the right click there, it's GG. Now S4 going to try to turn this one around. Not going to get the chance to. Raise misses the salve in Ferrari. That was very... Oh, he cancels the salve. Brings out another...
Wow, big plays from Ferrari. Oh my, he was really far behind in terms of souls. He pushes S4 and makes him think like, wow, this guy's all up in my grill. I can't even CS at all. And then he fakes back. He baits out a raise, which actually pushes the creep wave towards Ferrari's favor. And now the creep equilibrium is on Ferrari's side.
And S4's out of mana. He like tried to use a raise to cancel a salve, and he's just used his mana kind of inefficiently compared to Ferrari, who used his mana to get back into this 1v1. He's still behind on souls, but it's no longer as big of a difference. It's still looking bad for Ferrari though. Like, end of the day, he's still 5 last hits, 3 denies to the 12-10 of S4.
But it hasn't been on his hill yet, and this will be the first time that the creep waves will be on his hill.
Yeah.
So it's not the end of the world. It is an invisibility rune on bottom, and no one has given any quarter to check the runes.
No one cares about this rune right now. S4 will check top rune. He pokes his nose up and sees it's not there. So if he ever pushes out the wave, like when he gets his ball, he may double raise it. He knows the rune is waiting for him bottom, but he's probably not considering doing that until at least one more creep wave, as there's his bottle coming out. So after this creep wave now, maybe he considers going for that rune.
So the soul difference is only 6 though. So even though the CS board looks really badly in terms of CS, S4 doesn't have that big of an edge because Necromastery is not that high level yet.
Level 5 on S4 though, and I feel this may be the... Yeah, he's going to start raising now. He's using this mana up as early as possible. Ferrari does get some denies off of this, but S4's going for this rune. He's going to push out this wave, go for the bottom rune. Wants this last hit and will get it, so he's going to get an Invis rune. Doesn't get there before the 4-minute mark, so it's just going to be 1 rune for him.
Yeah, he can potentially get a kill with a triple raise if he catches Ferrari off guard, and Ferrari won't be able to top himself off since his bottle is on his way back home. No courier upgrade yet for Ferrari, no magic either to save him, so this could potentially be the death. Let's see if S4 does use the rune, and he will not.
I think Ferrari doesn't mind that. At this point, Ferrari getting the lane pushed to his tower is good, because that gets him some safe, easy last hits. So even though S4 gets a rune, it's like, well...
They're even on souls. Yeah. They're back at 20.
Even on souls, S4 with the last advantage means he just has that slight bit of edge on farm. We'll get his boots a bit faster. I believe boots are... Yeah, boots on the courier. They're going to come out now, get delivered. As for Ferrari, he's got the money for boots, but he actually hasn't got the courier at base right now. It's bringing out his bottle.
But boots doesn't actually help for man fights, so
no.
Both players have to realize this, and it's nice for getting in a long range raise, whereas the other player can't, because you can bounce in and out of the range and be very elusive. But in terms of just straight right click man fights and triple raises, it doesn't help that much. So
no boots versus boots means you can't run away though. That's the big worry.
And you have to think twice about checking the damage.
Oh, he's going to man fight. S4's got the boots. He can chase down Ferrari. Ferrari's going to make a run for it. S4's going to raise in 2 seconds time. Gets the right click. Ferrari's going to turn and fight. He misses both raises though. S4 gets the kill. He is your champion. Alliances returning from TI3 as champions, and S4 says, I'll start it off with a bang. Takes the 1v1 championship here in Seattle. Ferrari missing both raises.
Redemption from last year, where he got schooled on Magnus versus Magnus, and S4...
Was that by Ferrari as well?
No, that was by Ice. But, man, S4, I didn't know he could play SF that well. His CSing was phenomenal in the early game, and Ferrari just couldn't recover from it.
Even when he caught up on souls, he was just slightly... like, the boots basically make the difference there. You have the boots, your opponent doesn't. Ferrari saw that and is like, well, all I've got to do is get to my high ground and then turn and fight, because he's going to chase me, and he's got to... Like, his raise was just coming off cooldown, so... Well played by S4.
Well played indeed. Congratulations to S4 of Team Alliance.
Well, we've had Ice 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 as our winner last year. S4 going to take the 1v1 championship this year. Gets Alliance off to a bit of a nice start to their TI campaign, even if just a small little ego boost for S4. He has bragging rights now over some of the best 1v1 mid players in the world. But guys, big thanks to everyone who tuned in to all the action today. Of course, another congratulations towards Team Liquid, who have qualified for the main event through the wildcard matches. You'll be seeing all of that action taking place tomorrow. So tune in to all the Twitch streams, as well as Dota TV for all your TI group stage actions kicking off tomorrow. We've got a nice relaxed morning. We don't start casting until the afternoon, so you guys will get to catch a lot of the other casters here in Seattle casting all the group stage matches. Kicks off nice and early, 9 a.m. Pacific time, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. This is it. The 1v1 championships come to an end. I'm Gods. Joining me was Merlini. You can follow us, get updates about TI and everything else going on at Merlini Dota, at BTS Gods.
And if you're interested in his schedule, it's dota2.com/international.
Okay.
And everything you need to know is on there.
Awesome. Well, guys, we'll see you all tomorrow. Dota 2, the International 2014. We'll be back at 9 a.m. See you guys then.